Of this show on a Wednesday as one of my favorite people to interview, because I have had the good fortune over the years of interviewing Michelle Crisostomo and the very, very fine work she does as a member of AmeriCorps Guahan Sustainable Culture. Who says just because we all have to stay in and are under restrictions that you can't do awesome things and educate the community? And that is exactly what she does. So Michelle, welcome back to the show. It's been a while.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And, we're wrapping up the month of September here, but you guys have a few things going on now. We got a graphic that we're going to pop up and everything like that, but you've actually got a pretty full schedule of informative and I would say fun activities for people to learn how to practice sustainable practices.
Yes, and it's actually taking place at the new Guam Green Growth Community Garden. So these are some of the first activities that we've actually started doing there for Sustainable September, which is a month-long exploration of all things sustainable. So we have our AmeriCorps members that are focusing on healthy futures and environmental stewardship. We recruited them at the start of this year, and they're ready to, we've been training them, and they've been helping build this garden in Hagåtña across the post office. And now they're ready to start their outreach from the things that they've learned throughout the process. And so they're going to be sharing with the community about a lot of sustainable things. And so this week, and you have the schedule too, but this week it's a lot of upcycling of materials that you can use in your garden, how to prepare your garden for natural disaster, and then also just teaching them how to garden in raised beds, because that's what we're doing in Hagåtña, is showing people what they can do with raised bed gardening if they might have lack of space or soil to grow in the ground. So they're going to be doing a lot of events this week, and then we're going to learn from this and hopefully continue doing events similar to this in the following week. Yeah,
Michelle, the one topic that you guys are covering that that really interests me is what you're doing on Friday, as you said, how to prepare your garden in the event of a natural disaster. And if you're someone who is in the agriculture business, and that literally is your livelihood, I mean, you will bring a priest or ordained minister out to your garden and say, can you please bless this, because if we get gusts of wind, if we get knock on wood, if we get a really bad typhoon and everything like that, that's possibly my family's our primary means of income, blows away with that and everything. So how are you guys covering that topic?
So these are a lot of steps to prepare, probably not your very huge garden if you have a very large operation, but something similar to the garden that is in Hagåtña. So gardens, if you have trellises or you have raised beds, and so we're kind of using that garden model as an example of what you can do. And so a lot of people during COVID even have started turning their backyards into gardens to provide food for their family or for supplemental income. And so it's targeting a lot of those people who might be growing also in raised beds or in pots. And so a lot of the tips there would be like how to secure your pots or your raised beds or your plants in the ground, how to secure them during maybe a storm or typhoon. And then also cleaning up your area, even like trimming the trees, how to properly trim the trees, the limbs, and all of that to spare you from all the debris, maybe damaging things. So they do have a lot of examples they're going to show you, even things that you can do if you have trellises that are erected in your garden, how to lay those down and secure them safely so that you don't damage the plants.
Excellent.
And then how to properly clean up and what you can do after the storm to help get your garden back up and running.
Okay, and then real quick, Michelle, before we let you go, how can do people register for these online prior to the actual event, or can they just show up?
Yes, you have to register only because we are social distancing and we want to make sure that we don't have too many people. So there is a registration on our website at gusustainable.org/AmeriCorps, which is spelled AMERICORPS. You can register there, or you can call our office 734-GSC1, which is 734-4721.
All right. Well, the sustainable movement has so much momentum behind it, and in no small part due to very fine people like yourself, our buddy Dr. Austin Shelton up at UOG, and you guys are really driving this thing. And We're
Michelle,
so appreciative of you.
we had a question from a listener. When you talk about raised bed gardening, what type of fruits and vegetables are you able to grow in a raised bed type of setup?
So it would be crops, and you can even take a look at our social media, which has some examples of the things that are growing and actually fruiting and that we're harvesting right now. So we have two garden beds that are raised that have shade cloth, which is great for leafy greens like your lettuce. We have mustard greens growing there. We have kale. So those leafy greens do very well in a raised garden bed. And so we have two of them as an example that you can just walk over and take a look at. Those were built by Farm to Table. And so they do use those as well for leafy greens. And then we have eggplant, okra, growing basil, hot pepper. We even have fruits like passion fruit that will trellis. And so we have those growing. And a lot of them are even fruiting now, and they're starting to harvest some of that stuff in the garden beds.
Nice.
Sorry if we had any interference on the Zoom call. That was my stomach rumbling when you were talking about all that delicious, all those delicious fruits and veggies.
Yeah.
All right, so Michelle, we really appreciate it, and we really look forward to having a really strong showing at your event. So good luck.
Thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye. Have a
Thank you,
wonderful
Michelle.
day.
Right
Take
on.
care.
Good stuff. Good stuff from good people.
Good job today, Bree.
Good job.
Uh,
Good
Do we
job
even
to our
wanna say
listeners and
takeaways?
good job to our listeners and viewers.
Yeah.
yeah, guys. Continue to call, express it. We did have a lot of